write about practicing empathy and communicating with compassion at honestandgentle.com. And I do training in relating areas, in interpersonal communication, active listening skills, mentoring, things like that. And what I wanted to talk about today wasn't so much about communicating, it's something more mindful and personal rather than interpersonal, and comes from some personal experience of my own. And so my topic today is forgiveness through empathy. So last fall, I almost said last semester, but I'm not a student anymore. Last fall, I was a student. I was completing my master's degree, and I was really stressed out. And when I get stressed out, I tend to have these dreams that have recurring features. And the recurring features are people, and they're people from my past that I was very close with at one point, and then had great conflict with, and no longer really in touch with them. And these dreams, these people kind of pop up every once in a while, but I don't think about it that much. But last fall, I was having a lot of these dreams, like constantly, and it got on my nerves. So I really wanted to think about this and figure out what was going on. Because I thought I was over these relationships, that they were kind of things I had moved past, moved above, moved beyond, all that good stuff. But what I realized when I really thought about these people is that I was holding a grudge, that I had not fully forgiven, and I had not fully processed these issues. And when I thought about these people, I was right back in that situation. I was experiencing the same anger, hurt, pain, betrayal, the same feelings that were there, like when I first went through those periods of conflict. So I did some research on forgiveness, and one thing that I came across was the fact that one thing that facilitates forgiveness is when the other person expresses guilt or remorse or sorrow at what's happened, which is always lovely. That's the ideal, right? And that had not occurred in these specific instances, and I wasn't expecting to have any of that kind of closure at this point. So that was kind of a challenge I needed to overcome, was finding closure on my own without having the other person there to kind of process it with. So I did some more research on different kind of methods to forgive and to give that kind of closure, and I tried many things, from different religious practices like prayer or meditating and kind of holding these people with loving kindness in my head and things like that. It's supposed to work, and it didn't. I tried visualizing and like cutting cords or imagining strings and cutting them so that I could really kind of just let go of these things from my past, let go of this pain and anger. As I did these and they didn't work and I kept having these dreams, I realized something about that the people in my dreams were really these like caricatures of themselves. I had gotten to this point where I had held on to this pain and anger with them for so long that I only saw them as the kind of worst parts of themselves, kind of the parts of them that obviously came into the conflict or that I didn't like. And it's really dehumanizing. I realized that this was like my empathy blind spot, that I just really couldn't see these as full people. So this is great because I work in empathy all the time. So I thought I can conquer this, and I can figure out how to just really gain empathy for these people. So I created this exercise for myself and went through it. And I've actually gone through it with some other people and clients that have found it really useful. So I'll have it for you. I'll put it over with the food stuff that you can take this home as well. I won't go through the whole thing with you because it takes much longer than 5 minutes. But it basically involves kind of processing through the negative events that led to the conflict and the kind of end of these relationships, and processing your own feelings, and then taking the other person's perspective and really thinking about them very objectively, and kind of remembering as you went through these pieces of conflict, what kind of words did they use, what was their behavior like, what was their facial expression like, and so you can kind of try to get into their head and understand what they were feeling at the time. So you kind of go through the same periods of conflict, processing the other person's feelings. And I sat with that for a while, and you can do whatever you like with with whatever insights you get from that kind of process. Whether it be, write them a letter, send it, or burn it, try to have a conversation with them, or in my case, these people are really out of my life at this point, so it was just kind of something that I sat with for a while and just kind of noticed that I wasn't having as many dreams with these people in it. So I won't say that it's a cure for these kind of issues, those kind of grudges or relationships that you have. I'm no more than a case study, certainly. But I will say that my last couple of stress anxiety dreams have been more classic, like naked with a test that you haven't studied for kind of thing. So that to me is a really positive thing, I guess. Rather not have the stress demons at all, but they come. And then, like I've said, I've shared this exercise with a couple other people who have found it really useful, not only in kind of processing past conflict, but in processing some current conflict that they're dealing with. So I'm going to be under time, and what I'll use for my last minute is just to pass this out. So you guys can have this at your own disposal if you like. Here you go. All right, so, and I'll be sticking around if there are questions, or if there's 30 seconds. If someone has a quick question, I can. Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much.